It's midweek and I welcome you to Sports Today. It's 1 hour and 30 minutes. So from now, we'll be talking about a range of issues, including what's continuing in Accra Hearts of Oak following the dismissal of Coach David Duncan. So Accra Hearts of Oak's board say that they will not rescind the decision to sack Coach David Duncan. The coach has also indicated in a story that we'll be presenting to you in a bit that he is ready to return. Okay, so he is ready to return, and the board is not ready to budge. So where does this leave the fans who are agitating for a U-turn in the decision to part ways with Coach David Duncan? Accra Hearts of Oak will go into midweek with caretaker coach Benajay, who had it right when he was given that temporary responsibility from last Sunday's round of matches. We'll also be looking at other matches in the Ghana Premier League. Kumasi Asante Kotoko seek revival, and all other clubs look forward to pulling their weight in this midweek match day 12 action in the Ghana Premier League. In the Black Stars camp, we're still awaiting the arrival of the likes of Michael Essien, Adam Larson, Kwarasi, and Kevin Prince Boateng as they make up a full house to get ready for that big challenge on November 19 next week, Tuesday in Cairo. Of course, the team will train at least 4 more times before planning for Cairo for that very big game on November 18, which is the eve of that very big FIFA playoff. So you can start sending in your messages. Remember, it's 1760 if you're on your mobile phone, and it's also Nathaniel Attoh, citizen Attoh. Get on my Facebook wall and let's get talking about how the board is not ready. The board of Accra Hearts of Oak is not ready to rescind the decision of parting ways with Coach David Duncan. Well, Coach David Duncan is of the view that once he is reinstated the same way he was taken out, then he will be ready to do that job one more time. The fans will be in the middle because they want Coach David Duncan to come back. And, the board has other plans as well. We'll also be taking an update on what's happening with the Ghana FA and its dealings with FIFA over security arrangements for that big game between Ghana and Egypt in Cairo. And we'll also be bringing you the details of a meeting that was held, details of the fallouts of a meeting that was held between the Ghana FA, the Youth and Sports Ministry, and FIFA. There are also international updates. The man Lionel Messi is out for 8 weeks. This is a major talking point this week. And of course, many people would be saying that, okay, a disadvantage, which is a blessing in disguise, will give Neymar more opportunity to come out of his shell and shine more. And of course, attention will more be on the man Cristiano Ronaldo as well. Okay, so it's major talking points, but sad, and it's rather interesting the way the man Lionel Messi has had to encounter various injuries within the last 6 to 8 months. Well, we'll be talking about all of that right here on the show. The newspapers are next, but before that, a round of commercials. All right, so welcome to the show. Let's begin with the newspapers as usual. And there's an interesting headline on the front of the Graphic Sports newspaper. It says, "I'm ready to return." And that is according to Coach David Duncan. He says, I'm ready to return. And they tell you why Coach David Duncan was fired. And there it is, the front page of the Graphic Sports newspaper. And he responds to the fans' call. And remember, the fans have used various platforms, including this one, to ask for the return of Coach David Duncan, who was fired last Friday. And Lionel Messi is down and out. Remember, he's going to be out for 8 weeks. And King Faisal want to dare Kotoko. Olivier Giroud is the Mr. Stylish. And land guards have ended a boxer's career. Remember that the boxer, the man Ayite Ukanja, whose left wrist was chopped off in an issue with land guards, happens to be a boxer who trains with the Bronx Gym in Accra. This is it on the back page. That is Ayite Ukanja. And I will be bringing you a full story on that in subsequent editions of the show. And he trains with Carl Loco at the Bronx Gym in Accra. And this is not the first time, actually, that, this is happening, especially linked with the boxing fraternity. So this is a major issue that we will be taking up. And in previous years, boxers have or people in the boxing fraternity have been linked with issues with land guards and the infamous murder of policeman Kweku Ninja. Remember Kweku Ninja, who used to be a martial arts instructor as well. Joseph Telewu, who was a retired boxer then, was jailed and sentenced to death in the murder of that policeman. And also referee Kobina lost his life as well when he tried to check on his land. Okay, so this is an issue which we will surely be taking up some more in subsequent editions of the show. We look at Mr. Stylish Olivier Giroud, and I'm sure all the Gunners will be excited to see this one. There he is, live off the pitch. And he surely also appears on the front pages of some of the big magazines. And there we are. So there is more in the center spread, especially. We take a look at how Novak Djokovic, the man who's under 30 and still going very, very strong, was able to down Rafael Nadal 6-3, 6-4 to win the ATP Tour finals. And of course, there's also action from the Italian Serie A, all of it in the center spread of the Graphic Sports newspaper. And there are more stories in the inner pages of the newspaper. So you grab a copy and just take a look at the stories in the Graphic Sports newspaper. We also take a look at the 90 Minutes newspaper, which, speaks about Kevin Prince Boateng returning at last. And Michael Essien is returning to the... All right, so there we are, and there are stories on Michael Essien, Robin van Persie. Remember, Robin van Persie has a toe and groin injury put together. Because of that, he'll be missing some friendlies between England and Japan and Colombia, which are scheduled to happen soon. And Michael Essien is expected in Turkey anytime soon, together with goalkeeper Adam Lassen Kwarase and Kevin Prince Boateng as well. So they make up a list of four they are included in a list of four who are yet to report to the Black Stars camp for this very big encounter. Michael Essien is also featured again in the center spread. Remember, he buried his father at the weekend. One of the reasons why he is yet to turn up in the camp, expected anytime soon. And pictures of Ghana legend Abedi Pele and his wife Maha. And former playmates in the Black Stars team. Skipper Abedi Pele, who took over from Kwesi Appiah, who now is in charge of the Black Stars team, catching up there at the funeral of the late James Essien, and may his soul rest in peace. And talk about Black Stars issues, and remember that during the week, meetings were held, efforts were made by the Ghana FA with support from the Youth and Sports Ministry to, have a better brief and a better detailed analysis of the security situation in Egypt, ahead of that big game between Ghana and Egypt. Let's now take a listen to Honorable Elvis Afriye Ankara, who was there together with the FA president and some other officials in Togo to meet the General Secretary of FIFA.
I think it went very well. We had frank, open and candid discussions. We raised the issues that were of concern to us, even though FIFA had written to confirm Cairo as a capital and they had assured us that Egypt has given them security guarantees, we felt that we needed more and better particulars. And after the discussions, FIFA has agreed that they will organize a meeting between us and the Egyptian security officials together with the FA so that we look at some of the concerns that we have been raised. So I think on that note, we've made some progress. Let me assure Ghanaians that we are not afraid or worried about the football match itself. Let me assure Ghanaians, as I said, there is no man, woman, or devil that can stop us from going to Brazil. We are going to Brazil, and no man born of a woman can stop us. But at the same time, we have to take precautions. We are going into a very volatile territory, and so we are asking relevant questions. In if scenario A, what if this? What are the guarantees? What if this? What are the measures? What if that? What have you put in place? We just want to ensure that the way we've gone through all these qualifiers without any incident will go for this final hour, which happens to be the last qualifier for the whole World Cup. We'll go through it peacefully and successfully, and then we'll prepare for Brazil. But I think that the country has gotten to the point where we are poised for Brazil, and therefore want to leave no stone unturned for that. So we want to assure the players that they should be prepared. They should just go ahead and do their part. They should leave all these administrative matters to us. They should focus. We have full confidence in them, and we're going to repeat another miracle in Egypt. Watch it. Wherever we play the second leg is going to be another miracle. I told Ghanaians that the first match was going to be a miracle. Something unprecedented was going to happen. People did not believe it. That miracle, God started with us, and is going to complete it. God doesn't start something and doesn't end. So the second match is going to be another miracle, so that those who don't believe in God will know that indeed this one, na God.
Okay, so Youth and Sports Minister Elvis Afriyie Ankrah, he says that another miracle is going to happen. Okay, now let's take a listen to FA President Kwesi Nyantakyi, who also spoke to Joy Sports after the meeting in Togo.
These concerns were discussed thoroughly by both parties, and FIFA appeared to have a sympathetic ear towards the issues that were raised. And so further to the first inspection visit that was made by a team of national security officials and officials from the Federation, the second visit has been agreed upon to be made on Thursday, this week Thursday. And that visit will have the presence of the head of security of FIFA. I will be there myself. Abedi Pele will be there, subject to confirmation. Then Alhaji Latte from the National Security, and then Ibrahim Sani, our Communications Director, will also be there. The purpose of the visit is to receive detailed provisions for security as outlined in the guarantees that the Egyptian government provided. And so their state security officials are supposed to inform or take us through a detailed security briefing outlining measures that will guarantee the security of all officials and players during the game. It will also be an opportunity for us to assess and ask questions at first hand, and then put across once again our concerns, and then see how they intend to address these concerns. After this last meeting on Thursday, if we still have any genuine grievances to put across, FIFA will then have to make a final decision. So that is what we agreed at the meeting, and we are very hopeful that in addition to what we have been told already, we'll hear more and then satisfy ourselves as to whether enough security guarantees have been made for the game or not. We are looking forward to a situation where this match will be played without any incident. We don't even want anybody to be scratched, let alone being harmed or killed. And FIFA is equally concerned about that. Mr. Jerome Valg indicated that they had organized over 830 games, and these matches were the last round of matches to be played. And so FIFA itself will be scandalized if at the last phase of the competition anything untoward happens. And so it is a hope and expectation of both Ghana and FIFA that nothing bad will happen. But this hope can only be realistic if we are told the very details that will be rolled out in order to guarantee the safety and security of lives and property.
All right, so that was FA President. You heard the soundbite of FA President Kwesi Nyantakyi. Also, Abedi Pele, Ghana legend Abedi Pele, also has assurances after being a part of that interaction.
Which I think we all appreciate the solutions that FIFA put on the table, and FIFA also had the time to also listen to us as Ghanaians. They listened to our problems and our concern, and I think we've all agreed to put certain measures on board. So for me today, this meeting was a successful one because there are other issues also which clock out, which will make us all to diffuse the tension within our both countries, in Egypt and in Ghana. So for me, I would call it that it has been a very successful meeting. So I can confirm that they should relax because the FA chairman and then the minister are doing a whole lot of series of meetings to ensure that there is sanity in that particular match and then there is safety in that particular match. Ghanaians will be safe as well as players and as well as fans. So these measures haven't been completed yet. It's an ongoing process. I think both the ministry and the FA are doing all what it takes to really make our citizens who are going to go to the match safe, and then our citizens there in Egypt safe, and then our players as well. What I can also say today is we've been able to really push FIFA to the wall, for FIFA to really come out and say that, look, for now the match is going to be in Egypt, but as time goes by, days goes by, if something really clock up and they realize that the security programs are not well done or well secured, if there is any doubt, a little bit of doubtness in the meeting, then they will call the match out. So we are, as a country today, I think we are very happy. FIFA has given us some comfort this morning that, look, as this moment, the match will be played in Egypt. But as days goes by, seconds and hours goes by, if there is any doubt in FIFA's mind that the match is not safe, they will take the match from Egypt. So I think we are very happy with what came out from so the players shouldn't be worried. They should just be motivated and be ready for that particular match. I mean, the hard work has been done. Now is just to go and complete it, and we hope they are going to do it in style.
Thank you very much, Maestro.
Good. Thank you.
You heard the maestro, Abedi Pele, and we've also we'll be listening to FIFA General Secretary Jerome Valcke, who has also been talking after that interaction with Ghanaian officials concerning that game against Egypt.
I think it went well. Firstly, it was very important not to exchange only letters and to discuss via telephone, but to meet. And it was an opportunity because I'm here today in Togo, in Lomé, to meet the president and the minister, and again to describe all the security measures which will be in place for the game between Egypt and Ghana, measures which were provided and organized by the Egyptian authorities. They can be assured that we are doing all together the maximum for them to attend this game and for Ghana to play in the best condition, as by the way for Egypt. I mean, there are two teams on the pitch and they have to play together. What we have decided in order to bring even more feeling of good insurance for Ghana is that we will organize in the next 48 hours a visit led by the president of the Ghana Football Association in Egypt to meet with our security officer, but also the Egyptian authorities, and for this delegation from Ghana to have a full introduction of the system which would be in place for the game. So they can see with their own eyes, they can feel the level of organization which will be in place for the game. And I think it's important, and that's the way to make Ghana feel comfortable to move to Egypt to play this game. We are working very closely with CAF whenever games for FIFA's tournament are organized on the Egyptian continent, in the African continent. There were more than 800 games played to qualify for this World Cup, for these 31 teams to join Brazil for the 2014 FIFA World Cup. And nothing major happened during this qualification campaign for, let's say, 2.5 years. So we cannot end up with a problem. So that's why it's so important that all is going well. I can say to the teams who will play, give your best, because the World Cup in Brazil will be an amazing tournament, and as football fans, as football players, as football organizers or lovers, if there is one place you want to play once in your life a World Cup, it's Brazil. So play, qualify, and I'm waiting for you to let you know which team you will play in which city on the 6th of December.
All right, so there it is, and we've been also gauging the opinions of former national stars as well. We heard from Abedi Pele. We've been talking to former striker of the Black Stars, Augustine Ahimfo, who also looks ahead to this big game. Remember, it's under 1 week more.
The job is not yet completed, so we should go to Egypt and then be professionals and tactically very good. And then I saw El Ali play Orlando Pirates over the weekend, and the support alone, I think, helped them to win. And so I know they will also be supporting their team, giving them all the energy to win. But as professionals, as our boys, I don't think we'll go to Egypt and go and disgrace ourselves. A little bit of problem is this technical director issue that the media, have talked about the past 2-3 weeks. I think it's never helped any of us, and I hope that we don't discuss about it anymore. That was my worry, because we've seen teams going to Egypt to play and nothing has happened, and we've kept on complaining about security, even though we are looking to safeguard our boys also. I think that we should have left it. The FIFA came up with a decision. I think we should just be confident, because I don't think the Egyptians will compromise when it comes to security. And also, we are playing at a military base. Let's say in Accra and you are playing in Burma camp. Even to enter will not be easy. So that alone should have been guarantees for us to believe that let's forget about the issues concerning security and go there and perform, because it can also affect the boys. Because they'll be playing thinking that something might happen to them during the game or after the game, and I don't think they will have that 100% concentration for the game, which I think we should stop talking about the security issue.
Do you think for any reason Mr. Kwesi Appiah may be distracted with all this news on the technical director? You know him.
I think so, but he's a professional. I think the FA has come out to state that they are not behind that rumors going around, and I think for now he'll be a bit confident, because if the FA had come out to say that indeed they were behind it, then it was going to be a problem for him. But as it stands now, they've come out to say that they are not behind those rumors, and I really don't know who came up with that, because at least that person should have finished for us to wait for us to finish playing the qualifiers. We've won 6-1 against Egypt. We haven't qualified finally, and you come up with this. What about if we go and we lose by 7-0? Because it's football. Then we don't go to Brazil. And so for that person to come up with that issue, and for the radio presenters and sports anchors here and there to follow it through with the discussions that has gone on till now, for me, I think it's very sad.
What would you advise Mr. Appiah to do going into that second leg in Cairo? 6-1 should be a good win, but you have played at the highest level. Do you think it can be overturned?
I earlier on said that it's football, anything can happen. We won 6-1. Nothing states or shows that they can't also win by 6-1 or 7-1. It's football. But we have to go there with a mindset. We know the Egyptians are going to attack because they want to get an early goal. And if we are very, very tactically good, we can take advantage of that, because in wanting to open up, you leave holes behind. And so, though they want to score, we also have the advantage of taking advantage of the holes they are going to leave behind when they go into attack.
Kingston didn't get called up this time. Were you surprised by that?
That was the coach's decision, so I don't want to comment about it. He invited him. He decided not to bring him around this time, so we should have to leave it. Maybe he wants to see somebody else, and then know that the future, if this man is not there, that one can replace. So I did not have a problem for him bringing Kingston, and I don't have a problem with him omitting him.
Is it not a challenge for these goalkeepers that they are very uncertain about their positions? It's not often we get to see goalkeepers being changed.
I think we can't deny the fact that Attoh has not been playing with Orlando Pirates, and as a goalkeeper, you should have playing time to keep your reflexes. Kwarase is good, but of late he's not been sure.
He just won a league title.
It doesn't matter. When it comes to national team issues, it's different. And so he bringing Kingston on board gave room for the goalkeepers there to think that if they don't back up, there's somebody to replace them. And so it was just about that.
There we are. So it's showtime. It's game on for the Black Stars, and surely would see how it goes for the team. Remember, you can send a message 1760 it is. And a board member of Accra Hearts of Oak, Dr. Nyahu Tamaklu, says that the club will not rescind the decision to sack Coach David Duncan. So you send in your messages. Now, Coach David Duncan is ready to return only if the club communicates it the same way he was sacked. But where does this leave the fans? You send in a message and let's get talking. And we'll be doing some stories now. And Egypt and, the coach of Egypt, Bob Bradley, he says that he's unhappy about the fact that there are not many strikers in his squad. And he doesn't have a clinical finisher. So what does this become? Is this a mind game? And remember that Bradley unveiled his 25-man squad for the November 19 game. And he said that bringing Mahmoud Abdel Razek, who's known as Chikabala in the first leg, did not work well for his side. So he has to change his approach. Okay, so let's see how it goes for Coach Bob Bradley as he does the impossible, in quotes, what is thought to be impossible right now. And he has already admitted that Ghana has a very good chance of qualifying for the World Cup already. Now let's also take a look at the man Michael Essien, who has denied a rift with Coach Jose Mourinho following that lack of regular first-team action. Remember, the 30-year-old is yet to play in a single league game for the Blues this season. And he hasn't gotten full action for the Blues. Now, Essien, who used to enjoy regular first-team action at Stamford Bridge, has fallen down the pecking order with Mourinho giving more opportunities to younger players. Now, the former Olympic Lyon player has always impressed when playing for Chelsea and in less significant cup games. He's also impressed since returning to international football with the Black Stars team. And he is expected to join the Black Stars team tomorrow, between today and tomorrow, for that crucial game against Egypt to qualify for the World Cup. Okay, now one player of Egypt and Al Ahly is expected to face some action, some disciplinary action for saluting Mohamed Morsi. Now, one of Egypt's top football clubs has excluded a striker from competition for publicly showing support for ousted President Mohamed Morsi. Remember that the ousted president is one major subject in Egypt where there are many political unrests, which is resulting in a lot of confusion as well. Al Ahly said Ahmed Abdul Zahir would not go to next month's FIFA Club World Cup in Morocco after he gave a four-fingered salute on Sunday. The striker was celebrating his goal in the final of the African Champions League, which Ahly won by 2-0. And we brought you that video, and the gesture has become a symbol of solidarity with Mohamed Morsi, and it commemorates a Cairo sit-in by supporters of the Islamist president, which was violently dispersed by security forces in August, leading to the deaths of hundreds of people. So Ahmed Abdul Zahir will not play in the FIFA Club World Cup for that gesture, which was supposed to give support to ousted President Mohamed Morsi. Okay, let's also do some more stories here. Rashid Sumaila is gunning for honors at Mamelodi Sundowns. Now, the Ghana defender Rashid Sumaila started harboring thoughts of winning the South African League with Mamelodi Sundowns. Remember that the player left the top flight just about a season ago, and is looking to making big achievements with the South African top flight side. And the 20-year-old has hit the ground running since joining the Brazilians at the beginning of the season. And now, remember that Sundowns are currently 2 points clear at the top in the Premier Soccer League and haven't lost one in as many games this season. So let's see how it goes for Mamelodi Sundowns with the player Rashid Sumaila, looking forward to getting big laurels with the club. Let's also focus on Abdulmajid Waris, who has arrived in Turkey for the Black Stars training camp. Now, the influential Ghana forward arrived in Turkey to join the players for the World Cup playoff against Egypt. The 22-year-old Spartak Moscow player touched down at the Istanbul Attoh Havaliman Airport, and this was on Monday evening, and headed straight to the Ghana camp. And Waris is among few players who have arrived to boost Kwesi Appiah's ranks ahead of the June 30 Air Defence Stadium, the June 30 game. I beg your pardon, the game to be played at the 30th June Air Defence Stadium in Cairo. And Turkey-based Jaria Kamenko was one of the first players to turn up in camp, while other players joined on Monday evening. All right, so we do some more stories here, and Ghana defender Masaudu Alassane believes that his performance has started picking up, and he's picking up his form with regular games at his club. Now, the 20-year-old currently is on loan at Italian Serie B side Latina, where he's featured in all the games this term. Alassane lost his place in the Black Stars team, having been a regular feature for Ghana, the 2012 Africa Cup of Nations in Gabon and Equatorial Guinea. But the Udinese left-back feels he's coming back to his own regular game at the Serie A side. And also we focus on Ethiopia, specifically striker Getano Kebede, who has returned to the Ethiopian squad for Saturday's World Cup playoff second leg against Nigeria in Calabar. Now, the 21-year-old Beatfest Wits player missed the first leg, which ended 2-1 to Nigeria because of a knee injury. Now, Coach Saunet Bishao will be delighted to have his joint top scorer as the Walias Antelopes hope to make it to Brazil 2014. Well, this surely is going to be a very big game in Calabar, and obviously the Super Eagles have a boost. They have a 2-1 away win, and this is expected to improve their chances of booking qualification to the World Cup in Brazil. Let's do some more stories. And Tunisia boss Ruud Krol is in a fixture headache now, and he's fighting a war on two fronts at the 2014 World Cup and the CAF Confederation Cup. Remember that he is also in charge of CS Sfaxien, who are expected to play in the CAF Confederation Cup. All right, so it all goes for the other teams, of course. Right now, I'm sure that if you're here and you're watching from Ghana and you're Ghanaian, then you'll be doing Ghanaian interest. Nigeria will also be looking towards their interest in that, that game against Ethiopia. Nigeria surely have an edge with that 2-1 win away in Ethiopia. Who qualifies, who stays at home? Well, we get to see after next week and this weekend's round of matches for Brazil 2014. Let's focus on the camp of Accra Hearts of Oak, where the managing director, Neil Armstrong Motogbe, has been talking about the new developments and, of course, the team's technical direction now that Coach David Duncan is out of the picture. Remember, the board says that, no, we have taken a decision and that's it. Well, whether or not he's going to return, would have to sit down again. But, well, Coach David Duncan is also willing to come back, only that it has to be communicated the same way it was done, that those are his conditions. Let's take a listen to the managing director of Accra Hearts of Oak, Neil Armstrong Motogbe.
Quarters before, for 8 years.
You took part in a demonstration, I recall.
Actually, two of them.
Actually,
two of them, yeah. The then board, they moved to relieve Coach Jones Atukwefio of his duty as coach of the club. We did not agree. So we came to meet them. It didn't seem like there was any light at the end of the tunnel. So we mobilized ourselves and came to them in stronger force. They gave us a hearing, and they ultimately kept Jones Attoh for us at the time. Obviously, we made a reasoned case. Although it was a demonstration format, we kept the levels of respect that we believe were required to show to our elders at the time, and I believe that was what worked the trick. I've not been shaking at all. The Friday, the guys came to the office, banging tables, banging doors. Secretariat staff were scared. I said, don't worry, these are my people. I've lived with them for many years. I've led them. I've taught them a lot of good things. I've taught them a lot of interesting things also. And so they came. There was a small shouting match. At the end of the day, they said they'll be back. So I told them I'll be expecting them. So Saturday, we were at it again. The police came. It inflamed passions. The same guys who had come to me say, hey, MD, you got to talk to these police people. So I go tell the policemen, this is Hearts of Folk. We have a family dispute. We'll be fine. And if we need you, we'll call you. The police left, and within an hour, we resolved the matter. Drawn a roadmap towards getting some resolution to their grievances. And then on yesterday night, I met a wider group of stakeholders, the aggrieved supporters, the National Chapters Committee. Most of the regional chapters committees were here. Our Ladies Club were here. There are crowds of old players. These are the stakeholder groupings. I sat here representing the board. The NCC chairman also sat here in a dual role for board and for the National Chapters Committee. And amongst ourselves, without any further intervention from anybody higher up than us, we got to the next level of resolving whatever differences had arisen. And we committed ourselves to show the level of decorum and respect required of a Hearts of Folk fan who is keen on restoring phobia and glory. And so you'll find, if you've monitored the airwaves, that a lot of the things that were said last Friday, most of our friends are going back to radio to recant most of them and to apologize. It's in keeping with what we agreed yesterday. And to answer the question directly, there's been absolutely no shaking. People wonder, how do you sit in the midst of a mob that looks unruly? All right, Saturday was the heaviest day. I went down there. I wanted to speak to your cameras. They wouldn't allow me to speak. I said, well, if you don't want us to speak, then let us sing. And I joined them to sing Hearts of Folk songs. That's the way you live with your supporters. When you understand their psyche and their psychology, you live with them. You know that they are as passionate about the club as you are. They're not doing this out of spite. They're doing it out of genuine love and passion for the club. And you need to respect it and honor it. But having done so, you also need to guide them in the path that you believe will lead to a sensible and an amicable resolution of whatever differences there are. So I've not been shaking at all. My family, especially my mom, she called, say, what's happening? They're calling your name on the radio. Some people are insulting you, casting aspersions. I say, Mama, don't worry. It will blow over. They will go back and take it back. So today she called me. She said, how did I know? I said, I know my people. This is Hearts of Folk. The board initiated it. I can't hide that. We proposed it for reasons that he knows and we know.
He's done enough to keep himself in the job.
Well, you know, the function of performance for us as a board is measured in different levels. You have different performance indices or indicators, right? There's the on-field that everybody sees. There's the off-field that not too many people see. Okay, there's also an issue of chemistry. Okay, there's also an issue of comfort, the level of comfort you have. And over the period of time before I became managing director, and on a couple of occasions after I became managing director, people might be wondering, is he going to break his silence? I believe that people deserve to know a little bit because of that lacuna or that gap in information. A lot of people have read meanings, and a lot of things have been said that are just not true. Okay, our board of directors met, and based upon certain statements that had emanated from our coach, there was a lack of comfort that we would have his services for much longer.
All right, so we heard from the man himself, Neil Armstrong Motogbe. He's been speaking to the issues. He says that, look, when they got there, they wouldn't allow us to talk to anybody. So because of that, we sang together. And you know, Neil is a former chairman of the National Chapters Committee of Accra Hearts of Oak, so he's been drawn from out of the fans, but he knows how to deal with them. Let's see how, hoping that all of this ends well for Accra Hearts of Oak, in the better interest of Accra Hearts of Oak, because the club needs to move forward. The club needs to continue its campaign and do it well so that there will be good competition in the league. Remember that it's a 1 point difference between Kotoko, who sit at the top, and Accra Hearts of Oak, who are second. Let's do some more stories here. And there have been many names mentioned to take over as a substantive coach of Accra Hearts of Oak. And one name that has popped up is Hans van der Pluim. And Hans van der Pluim says that, well, he is not pitching for the Accra Hearts of Oak job. And the former Heart of Lions and Chelsea of Brecum coach says that he is not sent any letter to Accra Hearts of Oak to pitch for the job. So the big question is, who will be named then as head coach of Accra Hearts of Oak? There are a few names here on the local scene. Would it be here on the local scene? Would it be drawn from a foreign nation as well? These are discussions which I believe will be going on in your offices at this moment and in your homes as well and on the streets. Well, you tell me if you think someone deserves to be there as a substantive coach. Who do you think it is and what are your reasons why? Send that as well to 1760 if you're on your mobile phone, and get on Facebook if you've got internet access, and let's get talking. Ashanti Gold are set to sign Emmanuel Bafor. Remember the player, he emerged top scorer 3 seasons ago in the Ghana Premier League. Well, he could be making a return to the Ghana Premier League, and he will be signing for the Soccer Miners. Remember that Emmanuel Bafor had an unsuccessful stint in the South African Premier Soccer League, and this time around he could just be making a return to revive his career. Remember the likes of Luis Ajiman, who also could not really get the drift when they went in there into the South African Premier League. So let's see if this goes through well, and let's see how well Emmanuel Bafor could possibly perform. Now, Adriana Stars have signed on Milislav Bogdanovic as the head coach. This follows the exit of coach J.E. Sapong, who says that he was receiving death threats and all of that, and he was not feeling secure anymore in that position, and he resigned. And because of that, Serb Bogdanovic, Milislav Bogdanovic, has been given a 1-year contract. Let's see how he's able to do in charge of Adriana Stars. Let's now focus on the matches that we're expecting today in the Ghana Premier League. And of course, it's going to be big action. Accra Hearts of Oak face Mediama SC. And this will be the second game that assistant coach or caretaker coach now, Benajay, will be in charge of. Remember, he started well against Amidas Professionals. And Amidas coincidentally go away to New Edubiase FC. Kotoko will play King Faisal in a derby. It's a midweek derby between Kumasi Asante Kotoko and King Faisal. Inter Allies will welcome Ashanti Gold, while Liberty Professionals go away to play Hazakes at the 2nd D Stadium, or the Esipong Stadium. Bechem United, they welcome Heart of Lions, while Dwarfs play Adriana Stars, and Wa All Stars play Brecum Chelsea in match day 12 of the Ghana Premier League. All right, so the MTN FA Cup will commence today, and the preliminary round of matches will be played, and lower division clubs get the opportunity to run through and get up the pecking order in terms of the final stages. Let's see how well the clubs are able to do. I'm really looking forward to seeing a 3rd division team go all the way to the final stages of the MTN FA Cup. That surely will be a dramatic story of success told by the MTN FA Cup. All right, so let's see how all the action goes. We'll be bringing you updates of all the matches and all later on. We will go for a round of commercials, and there is more here. Remember, your text messages are still welcome as we discuss Accra Hearts of Oak, the Black Stars, and all others happening in the on the local scene. And we'll also be talking the Ghana Premier League, which enters match day 12. Accra Hearts of Oak and Kumasi Asante Kotoko have just 1 point between them. What happens after today? Which kinds of results are you expecting? You send a text message. Remember, Lionel Messi is out for 8 weeks. What kind of effect is it going to have on the team? Is there any effect at all? Is it going to be business as usual if the man is not there? Well, you send a text message. Does it also give some other players who necessarily may not be in Barcelona the reason or the opportunity to shine even bigger? This is a big reason for a debate. I'm sure that debate has already started. Send me a message. Get on my Facebook wall and paste something there. And also send a message through 1760 for only 30 Ghana pesos. We'll be doing some more. Remember, the moment of the day will be coming up. What do we bring you for the moment of the day? That's a secret. That will be later on in the show. You stay here. This is Sports Today. And it's only here on the Joy Sports channel on Multi TV. Okay, so during the week as well, we heard of the shortlist for the BBC African Footballer of the Year. Well, it has the man Yaya Toure in there. It's also got John Mikel Obi of Chelsea in there. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, he's also in there. And do you have anybody who you thought should have been in there? Okay, so the BBC African Footballer of the Year release. Let's see who wins it and who makes it eventually to the final short list. Now, the Nigerian Golden Eaglets, who won the recently held Under-17 FIFA World Cup, have been promoted to the Flying Eaglets, which is the Under-20 team. And this is a very good succession program which could just yield big results. Remember that it was said severally that the Black Satellites team that won the Under-20 World Cup in the year 2009, which was led by Andre Didiayew, be promoted directly to the Olympic team, which was the Meteors. But unfortunately, that could not happen, and the Ghana was unable to qualify for the London 2012 Olympics in football. So there it is. Nigeria has promoted all the players of the winning team. Okay, so if it's anybody making money, first two, Barcelona, Real Madrid, and second two, Atletico Madrid and Valencia. The rest of them, no. Okay, so you heard it. Big debt profile for Real Madrid, 500 million euros. Wow, that's a lot of money. Yet they are able to purchase one player, Gareth Bale, and you know what the figure is. I'll be bringing you some text messages, but let's do boxing now. And the Ghana Boxing Authority brings some amount of good news from the recently attended WBC convention in Mexico. Now, the team of 5 officials from the Ghana Boxing Authority attended this week-long event, which brings together licensees of the World Boxing Council together, which is the world's biggest boxing sanctioning body. Well, some boxers have been able to get good rankings because of the advocacy that was done by the team that went in there. Let's take a listen to the Public Relations Officer of the Ghana Boxing Authority, Gifty Dodu.
The 51st Annual Convention, WBC, and 5 members of the GBA board were there. The president, Lawyer Peter Zuenis, Attoh Eddie Papo, Frederick Gate, Rabon Dodu, and myself. We were there to represent Ghana. So that was why I was there.
When you say you were there to represent Ghana, I'm sure there were a lot of meetings, a lot of dealings there. How did those meetings and dealings affect Ghana boxing?
It was a success not only for WBC but also GBA Ghana as a whole. What we did was George Ashi was supposed to fight Daniel Estrada in the World Cup, but it has been postponed due to the illness of Osei Sulaiman. So we saw that he was the first contender in the lightweight division, and George Ashi was on the 26th position. So we didn't understand. So GBA, the president, just confronted them, and he was moved to the 16th position. So we were able to move George Ashi from 26th position to the 16th position. And also WBC, they've set up a fund for world champions who have now retired and they are not in good standing, to help them. We were able to push DK Poison because he was the first champion in Ghana, and his standing, as we all know, is not good enough. So we were able to send his name through. That's Lawyer Peter Zuenis was able to do that, and we were told the first batch of list have already been done, so he will be added to the second batch, which is a plus for Ghana. If we had not been there, we wouldn't have done that. And then the African Boxing Union, ABU, the president was also able to nominate the whole ABU, led by the president, Hussein Hauchi, appointed President Lawyer Zwenis to come on board. So he's now a board member of the African Boxing Union. We did all this through the convention. So it was a success for not only WBC, but GBA as a whole.
For a lot of Ghanaian boxing fans, they would want to see a lot more of our boxers highly rated so that they can get the opportunity to fight the title holders in the various divisions. Aside George Ashi, were you able to push for any more of our boxers?
Bukom Banku was on the 16th position and his weight. What really happened was this convention is not mainly for executive board, because I saw a lot of promoters, matchmakers fighting for their boxers. They go in there, we have mandatory fights, so you go in there, you talk for your boxer. The thing is, when your boxer is lying low, he's not going to get any fight. So they come out and then they explain why their boxers should be pushed up front, and it worked. So I am just encouraging the Ghanaian promoters, the matchmakers, the managers. They should attend such conventions, and it will help them and then help the boxers as a whole. I can say we didn't have much notice and then much information about most of the boxers here. But if you are the promoter and you are the manager and you managing a boxer, you will know a lot about the boxers and you can say a lot about them. So in all, we were able to do what we know, what we think we can do, but to come back and then encourage the promoters and the matchmakers to attend such conventions.
Wadodo speaks for the Ghana Boxing Authority. So good news coming
the National
from the the World Boxing Council's convention, the WBC's convention in Mexico. Let's turn our attention to cycling now, and Team Ghana is preparing for a meet in Lagos. Here's a report.
Team is in Nigeria to participate in the ECOWAS Cycling Tour. Burkina Faso won the last two editions of the tour, and 14 countries are expected to arrive in Lagos for the third edition of the ECOWAS Cycling Tour that will flag off tomorrow at the National Stadium in Lagos. Some of the countries expected to take part in the 5-day tour are Togo, Benin, Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire, Mali, Burkina Faso, Senegal, Guinea, Gabon, Liberia, and host Nigeria. Tournament organizers have confirmed 6 cyclists and 5 officials from each country will take part in this year's race that will begin in Lagos on Wednesday, November 13, and culminate in Abidjan on November 18, 2013. Ghana's team include 2013 Cowbell Tour winner Prosper Agbo and sensational fighter in cycling Samuel Anim.
Okay, all the best to Team Ghana in Lagos. Let's now focus on the upcoming Joy Sports Invitational Tournament. And who's in focus today? It's Vivo Energy, and they also are looking for big honors as they participate for the very first time.
A small portion of the energy that is in us. And the field will decide. Yes, definitely. Preparing for that particular trophy. So please tell the others that they shouldn't waste their time. The trophy is already in this room.
And I don't know where their motivation is coming from. Are you promising some very huge winning bonuses?
They are self-motivated. But then there are other corporate things that we'll do for them. So definitely it will come. Yeah.
In post. And then we have Vincent Attoh Dadzi. We have Vincent Williams. We have Emmanuel Ajete. Yeah. And we have Edward Esiedu.
I can assure you that Vivo itself means alive. And so we are coming to the grounds with a lot of life and energy. I mean, energy that people have never seen before. We are coming there. We are coming over to take over. This is the first time we are coming. We are coming over to take over. We are going to dismantle everything that comes our way that day. In fact, myself and a couple of my colleagues returned from France some few weeks ago. We went there for a training tour, and you see, the kind of energy that we are bringing to the program, no team can stand Vivo. No team. We are coming over to take over. It's as simple as that. Our motivation is coming from the meaning of our corporate name Vivo, which means alive. We are full of energy and vitality. That is our motivation. We are coming over to take over.
You know, yes, I want to be our opponents.
We are coming with all that power. Watch out, Vivo is coming. We are coming.
Well, there it is. The action is on November 23 and is proudly sponsored by Lucozade Sport, which hydrates and fuels you better than water. Who wins this? It surely is going to be a big one itself. There's men's football, women's penalty shootout, the CEO's penalty shootout. There's also the Team Spirit Award for the best team that cheers. Also, we've got the unisex relay, unisex basketball, unisex volleyball as well. It's going to be fun on November 23. Join us there at the LWAC Stadium for the biggest corporate sporting event in the country. Let's also throw focus on a sports award scheme that has been launched in Accra. Our cameras were there.
Yeah, and like I said in my remarks, that it's cut along the lines of the BBC African Footballer of the Year. It's brilliant, but the only thing that I also suggested that they need to make it liberal, open it up a bit so that the other radio stations and TV stations feels comfortable to come on board, because we can't have several awards, we can have different awards by different radio stations.
You think that this should have this an idea that should have been looked at way earlier?
Well, yeah, it should have been looked at way earlier, but I don't think we've lost anything. It's better you realize what you haven't done and you do it before the program starts rolling than you don't do it at all. So I don't think that it's too late to start speaking to the other radio stations now.
This looks more like an innovation. What do you make of its prospects?
Because it's focused on the other stakeholders in sports who, over the years, we've all forgotten, the fans. It's a wonderful idea. It's fantastic. The fans are going to love it. But as usual, you have to make the fans feel that they own it. That way it can be sustained, and that way everybody can feel good to come on board.
Let's now look at your sport. You've made us proud. Not too often do we hear athletes travel out of Ghana and bring home so many medals. You must have been very delighted with that. I'm
definitely delighted. I mean, it feels good to be the president of a federation that has gone out and make this country very proud. I'm obviously delighted.
What should we be looking forward to in the near future?
Well, if you say our performance at the African Commonwealth, the African Championship is anything to go by, then expect greater things at the Commonwealth Games.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Well, we at Happy FM feel that the sports fan is so important as far as decision making is concerned. The sports fan out there has his own opinion about who is doing well and whatnot. So we decided that as it is done elsewhere in Europe and America, we feel that it is time for us to give the sports fan the opportunity, to vote, to say that Kwame or Kofi deserves an award. For us, we are giving them the opportunity to choose and decide who has been excellent in his or area of endeavor as far as sports is concerned.
This thing is done by most of the telco companies.
Well, the difference is that we are saying that the decision is purely by the sports fan. It's 100% voting. Now, the difference is the other awards. People have said that 60% voting, 40%, technical decision, blah 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 blah. But we are saying that this is 100%. Once the technical committee does the nominations, the rest is for the public to decide who they think deserves an award. And we are just going to honor excellence. That's the basic idea.
What do you make of the prospects of this event?
Well, this is the first year, and we hope to make it grow. I'm sure it's going to be the best in Ghana. That is the vision.